Alright, new update 6 AFK macro method, whatever you want to call it. This might be a prototype, but I found one for right now. Let's check it out. Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight! So just like everything and before with my other macros, I have requirements, and this time I have a little bit of side notes, as you can already tell. But let's start with requirements. First of all, you need Tiny Task. Go search up a video how to do it. It's very simple, very easy. I'll leave the download in the description. Just make sure you don't click on any viruses, because I'm pretty sure the ads are pretty risky. But yeah, go ahead and download Tiny Task if you already haven't. Have JJK Infinite unlocked, if you don't have this, you won't be able to do it. Of course, have decent Wi-Fi. Right? Having decent Wi-Fi is going to be good because you want to stay consistent, and if you don't have decent Wi-Fi, then you might mess up your whole macro, but it is what it is, and hey, you just gotta deal with it. Besides that, get a hybrid unit, either Jalal or Miriam. I kind of forgot every other hybrid unit off the top since I'm really tired and I'm doing a lot of homework, but these are the main ones that I recommend. I recommend Jalal just because overall he does more damage in the end. And then for last of all, I recommend having a support unit. Alright, support unit, maybe like Gray, Katakuri, Toge, or Dio. Anything that has a stun, a passive stun, that's not manual, that'll be great. I use Gray just because he has massive AoE, decent SPA, but you can place 4 of them down, and he has good range. So that's you'll see my loadout later on. But now the side note, there's 2 problems instead of 1. Usually there's only gonna be a screen, like a problem where the angle is different in the macros, but this time there are 2 different spawn settings. One is set to where you're facing towards the big little like tower thingy with all the beams and stuff from Jujutsu Kaisen, and then the other one is where you're facing a little building to your right. And yeah, it honestly depends on which way you want to make your macro, but in this state I actually made it so where I'm facing toward the big building with the beams. You'll see it in the video and I'll explain it more in depth, but yeah, those are all the requirements and some side notes. I'll look at the stats later on. As you can see, I do have the stats at the bottom here, but we'll get to that in a bit. Now let's go check out my recording, which I pre-recorded it since I didn't want to like talk over it and just mess me up, but here it is. Alright, so as you can see, I have the screen here, and just like always, I have the macro set it as a single point, and then start the macro and click join. Alright, once you click join, you want to wait until you're logged in, and this is where decent Wi-Fi comes in. Right, if you load in faster, you'll get your macro done faster. If you load in slower, you'll get your macro done slower, and it may mess it up just because it will fluctuate in between like fast and slow. So you want to have it on a consistent rate. But right here, you want to wait at least like 5 to 10 seconds, and then once you're in the game, I'll show you right here. You want to go ahead and start clicking this little button called the summon. So once you click the summon, if you already don't know what it does, it basically aligns you in the middle, so you don't have to like move around and mess around with the movements. So click summon, do it for around 10 seconds just in case you don't do it and you're loading it slowly. But once you do that, go to the left, come down, and then head towards the left side again towards the story mode area. Now you want to adjust yourself so you don't hit those beams to the right. As you can see, there's little things there, but once you do, go inside, go up, and then wiggle around a little bit, because the wiggling actually helps you get inside, since it basically interacts with the door, and every time you interact, it'll have a higher chance for you to get inside quicker, and that's what I do right here. And just in case you're lagging, but once you do that for around 5 to 10 seconds, you want to go ahead on over to the select world area and hold and drag down the scroll, because if you actually scroll down, it'll mess up your whole view. If you scroll down with your mouse, it'll mess up your whole view. So drag down the scroll, go to Cursed Academy, click select a couple times, and then click start, and then you're in. Boom. Now this is one of the problems right here. As you can see, I spawned facing towards the little buildings to my right, or yeah, to my right is what I would say if I'm facing the other way. And I'm facing towards the dummies, right? This is a whole different macro, but what I did do is that I did it all over again, and I made it so I was facing towards the giant building in the back. So let me quickly load in. Now here, as you can see, I'm facing towards the big building with the beams, and as you can see, it's way different. All right, 2 spawn sets, and yeah. I like to do this one just because it's easier in my opinion, and it's more efficient, but the other one is still fine and it can work with the same method. You just have to have different movements. But using this method, you're gonna have to jump over this little building right there and then move towards the front. And once you move towards the front, you don't want to hit anything else but this little gate. There's like this little gate at the front, and you've seen it. It has these 2 little plates on the left and right, and if you move left to right, you'll actually get fixed to a certain point where everything's aligned. So as you can see, I'm moving to one side and then I move to the left, so I hit this wall right here, and then I move to the right a little bit, aligning myself with the middle, although it's not perfect, it is what it is, and then I run down all the way to the end, and then once I do hit the end, I adjust myself so I'm a little bit in front. You want to do this just because of the fact there are fire cursed monsters and they run really fast. So if they get in the back here and you don't have units that can kill them quickly and they don't have huge range, they will kill your base quickly. Like, they will kill your base instantly. They have 600 HP, so 2 of them would just demolish it. But once you do that, you want to go ahead and place your units. I placed Jalal just because he could kill the airs and the grounds at the same time. And then once I do place 2 of them, I can place down a Bulma, you know, for extra cash. From there, I started upgrading my Bulma, but not to the point where it's at 7,500, because at 7,500, that's when Bulma basically gains her big little building and goes up 1. And sometimes you can mess up to where you're not even hitting Bulma and not upgrading her. So at this point, once I get money, I place down Gray so I can get the stuns. I place down Guild Arts so I could get the shields down, because there are units with a lot of shields. That's kind of like one of the main priorities. But besides that, I just have them there. You know, I'm not really gonna upgrade them to max since that's a waste of money. I'm gonna be mainly focusing my money on the Jalals. But yeah, I'm gonna place all of them down. As you can see, taking care of them. Even though they're getting past right here, they will die pretty soon. I guarantee it, because all these units do a ton of damage. I didn't want to really place Jalal to the right side, because as you can see, it could click on Bulma and like mess up the macro. But if you get in a better positioning where you could line all your Jalals in one area, that's even better. But for right here, as you can see, we're doing fine. I'm upgrading my Bulmas now. I'm upgrading my Jalals. I'm doing whatever I can with my money. And for right now, my Jalals are taking care of everything. Now, fast forwarding, as you can see, I put my Starks down. You know, getting rid of all the guys in the front as early as possible, since he has good range and decent damage. If you have a different loadout, it's fine. As long as you could get them killed while slowing them down towards your base, then you're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a little bit. As you can see, my money is up. My Bulma's maxed. I got my units pretty much stacked. And the money that I'm gonna be using here is probably gonna be evolving my or upgrading my Jalals, just because I need them to be max. At max, they have a giant AoE, a ton of damage. And I didn't use Valkyrie. I was thinking of using Valkyrie, but honestly, I had like not a lot of placement. You could place her in the back right here or place any other units in the back, but it's very risky, because sometimes you'll have your screen up a little higher or you have your screen down a little lower, and you can't place your units over here since it'll mess it up. But if you want to do risk placing that, wasting them some time, then go ahead. It is what it is. But having units that have decent damage and good range, good SPA that can be placed down at the front could basically take care of everything. And as you can see, there goes the secret boss. And a couple minutes go by and he should be dead. Yeah, I killed him pretty quickly. Look at his HP just disappear. Yeah, it's over. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. Even though there are 2 problems with, you know, the angles and the different spawn settings now, at least you could still AFK him. At least you can still AFK. This is kind of like a prototype, so I will try to find out if there's better methods, but for right now, this is the one that I found. Moving forward a little more, as you can see, at wave 26, I go ahead and sell them, because there's no really benefit of going past wave 30, since it'll just get longer. They'll get harder, and sometimes there's a lower chance of actually spawning them. So I go ahead and sell them. I double sell just in case I miss it, but once I do finish selling all my units, I can sit back, relax, and watch all the other enemies just walk by and kill my base fairly quickly. And fairly quickly because the fire cursed enemies will get there fast. They will sprint their ass quick. And there we go. Once you do reach the end, you want to go ahead and hover your mouse over next and click for around 15 seconds, just in case you're not there yet, because sometimes the macro is a little slower. But once you do finish that, you want to go and click next, return to lobby, click that a couple times, wait until you're in the lobby, click X so you can exit, and then once you're done with that, you can just end the macro right off there. You don't have to put it back because it'll automatically do it. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and basically show you guys a quick speed run of me doing it. I'm not using my mouse or nothing, it's the macro doing it itself. Just showing you guys how it works and basically telling you it does work. So here goes. So now let's look at the statistics. So the statistics are basically just stats for a perfect game all around, no errors. But just like every other game, there will be errors, and there will be errors in your angles and your settings. So this could change depending on the RNG of that. But this is just the perfect stats if nothing bad happened. So hourly, so 60 minutes divided by 20, since this is how long my macro took. So that's around 3 runs per hour, and this is the amount of rewards I got. So we multiply that by 3. That's around 336 gems per hour, around 144 EXP per hour, around 60-24 food per hour, and around 3 caps per hour. So not too bad, and this is a newer one, and they're getting harder, so this is decent. Now, just like I said in my other one, people do love big numbers, and people do like to macro over many days, just like me. So here is my 24-hour macro and the stats for it. So 24 times 3, since 3 runs every hour, that's around 72 games every day. So multiply 72 by all the rewards, that's around 8,064 gems every day, around 3,312 EXP every day, around 144 to 576 food every day, and around 72 capsules every day. So great numbers, and honestly, you'll get your capsules in no time, even if there's errors. All right, you just put in enough time, and if I find another way, go check it out. But for right now, this should work. But besides that, good luck trying to grind them if you don't want to macro, or if you can't macro. And if you can macro, hey, let's just cross our fingers that they do work for the most part, and they keep giving us capsules.